Hey everyone, it's me from my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to build a strong college resume. In addition to that, I'll be sharing with you guys several resume templates that you can download and use for free. So if you guys are interested in applying to colleges, or you just want to know how to build a strong resume in general, then stay tuned and watch this video until the end. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you guys do not miss any future videos. So let's get started. The first step to building a strong resume is to craft an effective resume header. Your resume header should include your full name, email address, phone number, and your location, and all these pieces of information should be included in one neat and organized way. I also recommend that you guys include a link to your online portfolio if you have one. You can also include links to your social media accounts, such as your LinkedIn account or your personal website. However, please make sure that these social media accounts reflect well on you and that they're professional. The second step is to add a summary statement to your resume. This is an optional section, but I highly recommend that you guys include a summary statement on your resume. Your summary statement should highlight your key skills and experiences, and it should entice the reader to continue reading through your resume. A great tip when writing your summary statement is to tailor it to each position that you apply for. For example, if you're applying for a job at Starbucks, then you would mention your customer service experience and your ability to work in a fast-paced environment. But if you're applying for a research position, then you would highlight your research experience and your relevant technical skills. The third step to building a strong resume is to list your academic achievements and awards. This is a very important section because it shows the admission officers or employers that you have the grades and the qualifications necessary to succeed in their program. On this section, you should include the name of the award, the awarding institution, and the date you received the award. If there are multiple people who received the same award, then you should mention that as well. Here's an example of how you can write this section. For the first line, you would write Dean's List. Then for the second line, you would write the University of California, Irvine, 2021 Spring Quarter. Make sure you list your academic achievements and awards in chronological order, with the most recent first. Step number 4 is to add your education section to your resume. On this section, you should include the name of the school, the degree you're pursuing, your expected graduation date, your GPA, and any relevant coursework you've taken. It's important to include your GPA if it's 3.0 or higher, and if it's below 3.0, it's okay to omit it. Here's an example of what your education section should look like. For the first line, you would write Bachelor of Arts in Social Science. Then for the second line, you would write the University of California, Irvine expected graduation date, June 2024. Then for the third line, you would write GPA 3.7. Please note that if you're still in high school, then you don't need to include your GPA. Step number 5 is to add your work experience to your resume. Working part-time or full-time jobs is a great way to gain valuable work experience before entering the workforce. These jobs could be on campus or off campus, but it's best to include jobs that are relevant to the position you're applying for. When listing your work experience, include the name of the company, your job title, your start and end dates, and a brief description of your responsibilities and accomplishments. Use action words to describe your responsibilities, and always quantify your accomplishments whenever possible. An example of what your work experience section should look like is this. For the first line, you would write Research Assistant. Then for the second line, you would write the University of California, Irvine, June 2022 to present. For the third line, you would write Assisted Professor with research project by conducting literature reviews, collecting and analyzing data, and writing reports. Please note that if you have less than 1 year of work experience, then you do not need to include the ending date. And if you're a student without any work experience, then you can include volunteer experience in this section. Step number 6 is to highlight your relevant coursework. This section is especially important for students who are applying to graduate programs. By listing your relevant coursework, you're showing the admission officers that you have the foundational knowledge necessary to succeed in their program. To decide which courses to include, take a look at the course catalogue or ask a faculty advisor for guidance. Make sure you only include courses that are relevant to the program you're applying to. Step number 7 is to include your extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities are a great way to show admission officers that you're well-rounded and that you're involved in your school community. Include the name of the organization, your role in the organization, and the dates of your involvement. And just like with work experience, use action words to describe your responsibilities and accomplishments. Step number 8 is to list any technical skills you possess. This could include software programs, coding languages, lab techniques, etc. If you're applying for a job in the tech industry, then it's especially important to include technical skills on your resume. A great tip is to tailor this section to the position you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a graphic design job, then include programs such as Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. But if you're applying for a web development job, then list HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Step 9 is to add any projects you've worked on. Projects are a great way to demonstrate your skills and experience outside of the classroom. They also show admission officers that you're passionate about learning and that you're willing to go above and beyond what's required of you. To showcase your projects on your resume, include the project title, a brief description of the project, and any relevant outcomes or accomplishments. Step number 10 is to include any presentations you've given. This is another great way to show admission officers that you're well-rounded and that you're involved in your school community. To showcase your presentations on your resume, include the presentation title, the conference or event where you presented, and the date of the presentation. Step number 11 is to add a professional summary to your resume. This is an optional section, but I highly recommend that you guys include one on your resume. Your professional summary should highlight your key skills and experiences, and it should entice the reader to continue reading through your resume. Remember to tailor this summary to each position that you apply for. Lastly, step number 12 is to review and edit your resume. Before submitting your resume, please make sure you review it thoroughly to check for any spelling or grammatical errors. It's also important to make sure that your resume is formatted consistently and that it's visually appealing. You can do this by using bold headers, bullet points, and white space. There are many resources available online that can help you format your resume. And lastly, make sure you proofread your resume to check for any spelling or grammatical errors. And if you want to download any of these resume templates, then please click on the link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys next time.